So today is the day we're planning to wrap up stewardship for this year. Hopefully you've all gotten in your pledge forms and Rena is exhausted from getting all the paperwork sorted out. But on the off chance that there are one or two of you with good intentions that haven't quite made it to the post office, I'll ask you to send your forms in as soon as you can. Now, this is the part where you wait for me to explain how your pledge makes it possible for us to offer food and drink or clothing, to offer healing and company and welcome to the least of these. And it does. But you know that already. Plus, I'm not going to go there, because I don't think that's the point of what Jesus was saying. I do think Jesus is saying that there will be an accounting. But look at what happened in that moment of judgment. The sheep were surprised. Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? What they did because it was the right thing to do. That's just the kind of people they were. They didn't do it because they were looking to run up points on some final scoreboard in the throne room of the king. The moment of judgment comes, and the righteous are surprised. And the moment of judgment comes, and the goats are surprised too, as they head toward eternal punishment. Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick or in prison and did not take care of you? Either they thought they had ministered to the Son of Man, or they felt they never got the opportunity to do so. They thought they had done enough, or they thought their religious response was enough, that they didn't need to do any of the hands-on work in the world. I think Jesus's point here is that whatever you're doing in the world is what you're doing. Do it with the intention of scoring cosmic brownie points, and you undermine the action's ability to contribute to your own salvation, which isn't surprising in a way, because we have long argued that salvation comes through grace, through Jesus's loving gift to us. Salvation comes unearned and unexpected, and we're not able to do anything to make it happen. Now, I think we can all come up with examples where we just decided to see Jesus in some other person. They left home without their wallet, or they just needed to look in the dairy case and now they're ahead of you in line, or they hadn't had their coffee when they sent that email. We don't do it for gain or recognition. We do it because it's the right thing to do. And yes, because we're disciples of Jesus Christ, and that's what we're called to do. The thing is, most of us have a harder time coming up with examples where we went the other way. In Ezekiel, God tells us God has to step in because you pushed with flank and shoulder and butted at all the weak animals with your horns until you scattered them far and wide. We can probably come up with examples where we were pushed with flank and shoulder, but not when we did the pushing. In that, we are like the goats in the parable from Matthew. We weren't aware of what we were doing, but we did it. That's why we're asking for your pledge, so that the church can reach out to organizations who can help us with our blind spots. Recovering addicts, abused women, homeless vets. These are just some of the folks we help through the church. Now, I personally don't have a lot of contact with any of those folks in my daily life. Honestly, I'm more likely to do something unkind or say something tactless out of ignorance. I need someone to bring me into contact with them. I need someone to help teach me what assumptions I'm making. I need an outreach team to take a lunch to the transfer station every senior luncheon so that I never, ever take those guys for granted. By supporting the church, you're creating more opportunities to connect with folks you don't ordinarily connect with. And because this is a community we've made up of the disciples of Jesus Christ, we've been taught to ask, who's not here? Who's missing? Who have we pushed with flank and shoulder, butted out of the way? What portion of God's flock has been scattered, and how can we make it right? It matters if someone is missing because they might need our help, our food and drink, our clothes, healing, visiting, and welcome. It might also matter because we might need their help. Because part of being a disciple of Jesus Christ is understanding that sometimes you're the shepherd and sometimes you're the sheep. When part of the flock is scattered, someone isn't getting taken care of properly. And sometimes that someone is you. So fill out your pledge card and get it turned in, not because it will boost your score in the great throne room of the King, but because no one ever has enough opportunities to care for the least of these, the ones that Jesus called his own. And because there are plenty of days when you are the least of these, and a good strong flock with lots of loving shepherds who can turn up with 3 cheese stuffed shells and buffalo chicken dip is the best place to be. Amen.